Hello students, myself Milan Patel, Assistant Professor at LJIET Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today we will see joints and classification of stone masonry. So let's start. We see joints in stone masonry. There are various types of joints. First is butt or square joint. Second is riveted or lap joint. Third is tongued and groove joint. Fourth is table joint. Fifth is saddle or water joint. Sixth is rusticated joint. Seventh is plug joint. Eighth is double joint. And the ninth is cramp joints. These are the various types of joints in stone masonry. Let's discuss these all types of joints one by one, starting with butt or square type of joint. You can clearly see the butt or square type joint here in this figure. The butt joint is a very simple and easy and commonly used joint in ordinary stone masonry work. In this type of joint, two adjacent stones are placed in such a way that their square faces are abutted with each other. Okay, like this. Next type of joint is riveted or lap joint. Okay, a lap joint is provided where the movement of stone pieces is to be prevented. In this case, rivets are provided to prevent the movements of stones. This joint is known as riveted joint. This is how riveted joint or lap joint can be done. Okay, the length of the rivet should not be less than 70 mm. This joint is mostly used in artwork, copying on gables, etc. Okay. Next type of joint is tongue or groove joint. Tongue and groove joint. In the case of tongue and groove joint, a projection is kept on one stone and a corresponding sinking is provided in the other stone, as shown in this figure. This joint prevents sliding of the one stone over the other stone, but they are more expensive than the above two types of joints, so they are less preferable than the above two types. This joint is also known as joggle joint. Okay, this is how tongue and groove joint can be done. That's all about tongue and groove joint. Next is table joint. In this type of joint, a joggle is formed in the bed of the stone to prevent lateral movement. Okay, the depth of projection is about 40 mm and the width of projection is about one third the breadth of the stone. This type of joint is used in the case of structures such as sea walls where the lateral pressure is very heavy. Okay, this is how table joint can be done. Next type of joint is saddled or water joint. This type of joint is provided to protect the joints of cornices and such other slope surfaces. With the help of this arrangement, any water moving on the slope is diverted from the joints. This is how saddle joint can be done. Okay, this is also known as water joint. Okay, next type of joint is rusticated joint. Sometimes the margins or edge of stones used for plinth, quoin, outer wall of lower stories, etc., are sunk below the general level. The term rusticated is used to indicate such type of masonry. This joint may be different types such as channel joint, V joint, mold joint, and channeled and V joint, etc. These are the various types of rusticated joints. Okay, here in A figure, V joint is given. In B figure, channel joint is given. In the C joint, molded joint is given, and in the D figure, V and channel joint is shown. Okay, this is called as rusticated type of joint. Next is plug joint. The plug joint is similar to cramp joint. In this joint, dovetail-shaped cuts are made in the sides of adjacent stones, as shown in this figure. Okay. After arranging the stones in their proper position, molten lead is poured into the joint. Okay. So after joining, okay, molten lead is the one type of liquid which is poured into this joint for the strengthening of this joint. This joint is mostly used for copings, cornices, etc. works. Okay. Next type of joint is dowel joint. In this joint, a hole is made into each stone like this. Then the dowels, which are small pieces of hard stone, slate, gunmetal, bronze, or brass, are used for connecting these stones and secured with cement. Usually the thickness of dowels are 2.5 centimeter and they are around 10 centimeter to 15 centimeter long like this. Here in black uh, way, dowels are shown. Okay, these joints prevents unwanted displacement of stones. When dowel joint is provided for columns, is known as bed plug. Okay, so this is called as dowel joint. And the last type of joint is called as cramp joint. In cramp joint, the holes are made on adjacent stones which will be as dovetail shape like this. Okay. In this case, to connect these stones, cramps are used instead of dowels. Okay. This is how cramps are look. Okay. The cramps are the piece of non-corrosive metal like gunmetal, copper, etc. And their ends are turned down about a depth of 4 centimeter to 5 centimeter. After placing the crimp into the proper position, the rest of the spaces are grouted with lead or cement mortar. The crimp is provided to prevent the joint to open out due to slippage of one of these stones. Okay, this is called as crimp joint. That's all about the various joints in stone masonry. Now let's see the classification of stone masonry. This can be classified into two categories, rubble masonry and ashlar masonry. First of all, we will see rubble masonry. This is the stone masonry type where stones employed are either undressed or roughly dressed. Okay, this masonry construction do not have a uniform thickness. The strength of the rubble masonry is mainly depends on these three factors: quality of mortar used, use of long through stones, and proper filling of mortar between the stone spaces and the joints. Okay, this rubble masonry may be further divided into six types. First is coarse types, in which there are also subcategories like one shot, two shot, three shot types. Second is uncoursed rubble masonry. Third is random masonry, in which also there are two types. Then dry rubble masonry, polygonal rubble masonry, and fleet rubble masonry. Okay. First of all, we will see coarse rubble masonry. In coarse rubble masonry construction, the stones in a particular course are in equal heights. The stones hence used possesses different sizes. In this type, all the courses do not have same height. This type is commonly employed in the construction of public buildings, abutments, residential buildings, and piers of ordinary bridges. Okay, in which there are three types. First is one-shot coarse rubble masonry. In this type, the stones of same heights are used and the courses are also of the same heights like this. Here, the stones are of same height and the layers are also of same height. The face stones are dressed by means of a hammer and the bushings do not project by more than 40 mm. Okay, the thickness of mortar joint does not exceed 10 mm. Okay, this is called as one-shot coarse rubble masonry. Next is two-shot coarse rubble masonry. It is similar to one-shot except these following four topics. The first is the stones to be used are of different heights. You can clearly see there are a number of stones which are of different heights. The courses need not be of equal heights. In one shot course rubber masonry, all the courses are of same height. Here in this case, there are no such case. Okay. Third is only two stones are to be used to make up the heights of one course. Okay. In one layer, only two stones can be used in this type of rubber masonry. Okay. And the thickness of the mortar joint is about 12 mm. Okay. This is called as two-shot coarse rubber masonry. Next is three-shot coarse rubble masonry. This type is similar to one-shot except these following four topics. First is the stones to be used are of different heights and the minimum height is being 50 mm. Here the compulsion of height is given. Okay. Second, the courses need not be of equal heights. Okay. Here in this case also similar to two-shot coarse rubble masonry. Third, only three stones are to be used to make up the height of one course. And the thickness of the mortar joint is about 16 mm. These are the 4 points by which The third three-shot coarse rubble masonry is differ than the one-shot rubble masonry. Okay, that's all about coarse rubble masonry. Now let's see the uncoarse rubble masonry. Okay, this is how uncoarse rubble masonry looks like. In this type of rubble masonry, the stones are not dressed, but they are used as they are available from the quarry, except knocking out some corners. Okay, the courses are not maintained regularly, okay, like this. Here there are no such layers are there. Okay, the largest ones are laid first, and the spaces between them are then filled up by means of spells or snacks, which is one type of smaller portion of stones. Okay, the ball is brought to a level every 300 mm to 500 mm. Okay, after 300 to 500 mm the ball is brought to one level. Okay, this type of rubble masonry being cheaper and generally used for the construction of compound walls, godowns, garages, labor quarters, etc. Okay, this is called as uncoarse rubble masonry, where there are no such regular layers are there. Okay, next is random rubble masonry. Okay, this is how random rubble masonry looks like. In this type of rubble masonry, the stones of irregular sizes and shapes are used. Okay, here in this figure, you can clearly see the stones are of irregular sizes and the shapes. These stones are arranged so as to have a good appearances. Okay, except if we compare this with uncoursed rubble masonry, this random rubble masonry has good appearance. Okay, for that more skill is required to make this type of masonry structurally stable. Okay, if face stones are chisel dressed and thickness of mortar joint does not exceed 6 mm, it is known as random rumble masonry one shot. Okay, here in this random rubble masonry there are two types, one shot and two shot. If the mortar joint does not exceed 6 mm, then it is called as rubble masonry one shot. And in random masonry one shot, chisel dressed face stones are used, while in random rubber masonry two shot, okay, hammer dressed stones are used. And the thickness of mortar in two shot random rubber masonry does not exceed 12 mm. Okay, this is the difference between one shot and two shot random rubber masonry. Okay, this type of random rubber masonry is used for the construction of residential buildings, compound walls, godowns, etc. Okay, next is dry rubble masonry. This is similar in construction to the coarse rubble masonry three shot, except that no mortar is used in these joints. This type of construction is the cheapest, but it requires more skill in construction. It is extensively used for compound walls, pitching on bridge approaches, retaining walls, etc., where there are no use of mortar. That's why it is called as dry rubble masonry. Okay, in order to prevent the displacement of stones and to make the work more stable, two courses at top and about 500 mm length at the ends are sometimes built in mortar. Okay. Next is polygonal rubble masonry. This is how polygonal rubble masonry looks like. In this type of rubble masonry, the stones are hammer dressed and the stones selected for face work are dressed in an irregular polygonal shape. Okay. Thus, the face joints are seen running in an irregular fashion in all the directions. It is to be noted that more skill is required in the construction of this type of polygonal rubble masonry. As the stones are irregular shape, it is difficult to adjust them with regard to ability and appearance of the work as a whole. Okay, so in this type of rubble masonry, the labor work is very high. Okay, labor cost is very high. Next is flint rubble masonry. In this type of rubble masonry, the stones used are flints, which are irregularly shaped nodules of silica. Okay, the width and thickness vary from 80 mm to 150 mm, and the length varies from 150 mm to 300 mm. Okay, the stones are extremely hard, but they are brittle, and therefore they break easily. The face arrangement may be either coursed or uncoursed. The strength of flint wall is increased by introducing lacing courses of either thin long stones or bricks or tiles at vertical distances of 1 to 2 meters. Okay, like this. This type of masonry is used at the places where the flints are available readily and economically. Okay, so where flints are available locally or economically, you can use flint rubble masonry for your construction work. Okay, that's all about the first type of stone masonry, which is rubble masonry. Now let's see the second type of stone masonry, which is ashlar masonry. In this type of construction, the square or rectangular blocks of stones are used. Okay, the courses are not necessarily of the same height. The height of stones varies from 250 mm to 300 mm, and the length of the stone should not exceed three times the height, and the depth of the wall should be at least equal to the half of the height. Okay, this ashlar masonry is of five types: fine ashlar masonry, rough tool ashlar masonry, rock or quarry faced ashlar masonry, then chamfered ashlar masonry, blocking course ashlar masonry, etc. First is ashlar fine masonry. In this type of ashlar masonry, the beds, sides, and faces are finely chiseled dressed. The stones are arranged in proper bond, and the thickness of mortar joints does not exceed 3 mm. This type of construction gives perfectly smooth appearance, but it is costly in construction. This is how ashlar masonry construction looks like. Okay. Next type of ashlar masonry is rough tooled. In this type of ashlar masonry, the beds and sides are finely chiseled rest, but the face is made rough by means of tools. Okay, a strip about 25 mm wide and made by means of chisel is provided around the perimeter of every stone exposed for view. The thickness of mortar joints does not exceed 6 mm here in this type of masonry. This type of work is also known as bastard ashlar masonry. Okay, this is how ashlar rough tool masonry looks like. Next type of ashlar masonry is rock or quarry face ashlar masonry. In this type of ashlar masonry, a strip about 25 mm wide and made by means of chisel is provided around the perimeter of every stone exposed for view, as in case of rough tool ashlar. Okay, this is how ashlar rock or quarry face masonry looks like, but the remaining portion of the face is left in the same form as received from the quarry. Only projection on the face, known as the bushings, exceeding 80 mm are removed by the hammer. This type of construction gives a massive appearance like this. Okay. Next type of ashlar masonry is chamfered ashlar masonry. In this type of astromasonry, the strip is provided as above, like this in this figure, but it is chamfered and beveled at an angle of 45 degrees by means of chisel for a depth of about 25 mm. Another strip of 12 mm wide is then provided on the remaining exposed face of the stone, and the surface inside this strip is left in the same form as received from the quarry. Okay, the large bushings projecting more than 80 mm are removed by the hammer. The net appearance of groove joint is obtained with the help of this type of construction. Okay, this is how ashlar chamfered masonry looks like. And the last type of ashlar masonry is blocking course ashlar masonry. This type of ashlar masonry occupies an intermediate position between rubble masonry and the ashlar masonry. The faces of stones are generally hammered faced, and the thickness of mortar joints does not exceed 6 mm. The depth of courses varies from 200 mm to 300 mm. Okay, this type of construction is used for heavy engineering work such as retaining walls, sea walls, etc. And in some cases, it may also be adopted for theaters, railway stations, temples, bridges, public buildings, etc. Okay, this is called as ashlar blocking course masonry. That's all about the various types of ashlar masonry. That's all about the classification of stone masonry. Thank you for watching.